National Assembly Education Committee, the ODPP recommends imposing of bans to schools and individuals found culpable of aiding exam cheating.
Parents, teachers and schools have a stake in this. Schools are very protective over their schools, and even Knec is protective over its officers. And one of the reasons why many cases are being withdrawn or they take very long is that when there is exam cheating and we report in the newspapers, the matter is very hot. But with time, these people are very reluctant to come to court to give evidence. And without evidence, we cannot get a conviction. And in most cases, and we can show data, most cases that we withdraw are cases that we have looked for the witnesses many times until we are given notice by the judiciary that if we cannot proceed, then we have to withdraw. And that is why we are withdrawing under Section 87, which allows us to come back, should we be able to mend the case. We also think that there is a need for us to relook at ancillary orders, attendant, because if you look at the law that criminalizes the offenses that we are dealing with, it just provides for 2 years, a maximum of 10 years, or 2 million, without any ancillary orders. I think we must go for ancillary orders. For example, officers who compromise examinations, schools, and even examiners, invigilators, they should be barred. For example, an example of an ancillary order, barred from administering examinations for 5 years, or barred from teaching, or a school can be barred for something. So unless there is a multi-agency approach where, although each institution is independent, but we are dependent on each other because we feed on each other. So that is what we mean by interagency collaboration and cooperation. And in criminal cases, we have the victim, we have the complainant, we have the accused person, we have the republic, who is the properly so-called the complainant, and then we have the judiciary. So there are many parties that are involved, and all these parties must agree to work to the same objective. So unless there is a multi-agency approach where the objective of all these parties is brought together, no one institution can work alone.
And a breakdown of that story will be coming to you later on in a subsequent bulletins. Moving on, students from Kari Primary School in Kisii County have been rushed to the hospital for emergency medication after being attacked by bees. According to the medic in charge at Oresi Sub-County Hospital, 49 learners were stung by bees, out of which 14 were critically injured. 39 of those students responded to medication and later discharged, while those with serious reaction to the stings have been admitted for specialized attention and observation.
It was at around 1:30 when the children were out for lunch. A few boys went out of the compound just next to the school. We have a dumping site there. They went to look for loquats. When they touched on the loquats, unfortunately there were bees there that landed on them, and the kids ran to school for protection. As they were running to school, they came with a swarm of bees to school, and the bees came to school, but we really tried as a staff, through our teachers and a few parents who were there. We contained the situation, and we brought a total of about 49 people who were injured. I also want to thank that our office responded very positively. They were there with us the moment it happened.
We identified 14 of them who were seriously injured. They had severe anaphylactic reactions. We attended to them. They are now stable, and the rest 35. And the rest of the 35 were very stable. They have been discharged home on orals. The 14 have stabilized very well. We are planning to release them home anytime from now.
Seemingly there is some danger around the school because of that dump site. I want to advise the school administration to take up the issue with the county government so that if this dump site can be relocated, so that we remove this particular danger from around the school, because we have got very young children. You can see the bees were disturbed by bigger boys, but finally the younger boys are the ones who suffered, and girls. So I want to request that they look at this issue. Otherwise, the whole situation has been arrested, and you can see now we want to transport the children back to school. Otherwise, let us keep vigil so that we don't get into this kind of...
And the Ethics and Anti-Corruption Commission now wants loads passed to help in recovery of money looted and stashed abroad. While appearing before the Constitutional Implementation Oversight Committee, the EACC said a lot of money lost to corruption finds a safe haven abroad, making the fight against corruption hard for them.
Various instances, and we have been able to do that. As for the reporting of cases, we receive reports from any person and any person. But at times, some force is required. And actually, the law recognizes that even during arrest, there is some limited allowable use of force. But I do not agree that we should use unnecessary or force that is beyond what is recognized by the law to effect arrest.
I think the problem we have in this country about the mega corruptions, mega scandals, and why we have been unable to put them under control or to take action against them is because a lot of money that is actually stolen from this country is put in overseas countries' offshore accounts. And the problem is that we don't have adequate muscle or adequate law to be able to prevent this money from moving outside the country. And once the money has already moved out to the country, it is even more difficult to recover it or bring it back because there is no law compelling the recipient country to return that money back to Kenya. And therefore, that's why as members of parliament, we are now at the forefront to try and come up with a law that will help the EACC first to prevent this money from leaving the country, and then secondly to help have some form of legal framework for the countries which receive these proceeds of corruption to be able to return that money back to the country.
They need to speed up the process of recovery because when a corruption case takes 10 years, even for recovery, you may not recover the whole full amount, and you may even easily lose track of even whatever that you are following to recover.
To curb that, we are already proposing 2 laws, and I think some of them are already being executed. Yesterday, we had the first reading of the Anti-Money Laundering and Combating Terrorism Financing Law Amendment, number 35. It was read the first time yesterday in the National Assembly. We also have Proceeds of Crime and Money Laundering Amendment Bill that is already, I think it's on the 3rd reading, if I'm not wrong. So, and we have asked them to interrogate these 2 pieces of legislations so that they can see how we can be able to accommodate the loopholes and the gaps that they already have identified. And yes, we can confirm there is a problem because EACC is not able to block money from moving from Kenya to other countries. They are only able to block money when the money has already been confirmed that the money is for trade, because of course there are some records that are provided by the banks. No, he did not ask a question.
And learners in Tiamamut preschool in Laikipia North are facing a dire situation that requires immediate attention. The learners have been forced to learn in deplorable infrastructures that are on the verge of collapsing. The parents have asked the county government to intervene and build them classes.
County kuambia Irongo na serikali yake, hata sisi tulimpea kura, hatujalisha hii watoto wetu fenye mnaona fenya wanaishi vibaya. Angalia, hawana darasa, hawana chochote, kiangazi ndio hiyo, njia imemaliza watoto, imemaliza kila kitu, hata wanyama ile tuko naye. Kwa hivyo nilikuwa nataka kuambia Irongo akiwa ofisi yake ajalishe watu ya Tiamamut kabisa.
Serikali wanasema tunataka watoto wapelekwe shule. Sasa hizi serikali wakizunguka hapa wapate mtoto nyumbani, mzazi ataadhibiwa. Lakini sasa ukiangalia mtoto atashika nini hapa? Mtoto anasukumwa tu, hakuna kitu anashika akisoma kwa mahali kama hapa. Sababu hapa ni kama tu msituni tu. Kwa hivyo serikali sana serikali ya kaunti, tafadhali tunaomba mkuje hata nyinyi kama huyu gavana wetu akuja angalia hapa, atembee angalie Tiamamut.
Sisi tuko changamoto tunapitia kwa sababu tulipata primary madarasa primary wa 4 yenye mejengwa na Mheshimiwa Sara na hatuna nasari. Watoto anatoka mbali sana. Na anapitia kama kilomita 1 kilomita ikitembea, 2 kilomita, 3 kilomita ikitembea kwa hii shule. Hii shule hakuna maji, hii shule hakuna walimu, tuko na walimu 2.
The county government of Embu has disbursed bursaries amounting to 102 million shillings to needy students in secondary schools and vocational training centers across all the 20 wards. Speaking while disbursing checks to school principals of the beneficiary students, the governor, Cecily Mbarire, said the automation of bursary application scheme has ensured the whole process was above board in accordance with giving all children an equal chance of benefiting.
We are hoping this coming years tutaongeza hiyo basari ikiwa kiwango ambayo tunaweza saidia wengine na wengine. And I'm happy that we are now using a digital system. Tukianza kila mtu alikuwa anasema hii kitu itafanya kazi kweli. And today we can proudly sit here and say we succeeded in setting up a digital bursary management system. So I'm promising you that going forward we will try and enhance this bursary so that we can complement what the MPs are also doing. Secondary schools and primary schools other than ECD and VTCs are not devolved. But we do this because we have a responsibility and we understand how important education is. So we are promising we'll continue supporting even in the future.
The only thing you can do to the underprivileged child who is not there not by design, not by choice, and for you to give them capacity to compete favorably with the children of the privileged is to give them education. And I think that's what we're here today, and I really appreciate each and every one of us, starting with the county assembly, that has been very supportive to the executive. In fact, we are consulting in each and every move we make, and they have been very supportive to access the governor, and obviously by extension by me and our office. In all the requests we put before the house, they have been supportive. I think today we are sharing not a lot of money, but being the first launch, it is I'm sure and I'm confident in the coming years we shall be able to dispense even more money, more millions than what we're dispensing today.
Now elsewhere, residents of Isiolo who are looking forward to benefit from the Isiolo Export Arbiter, which has been under construction for the last 16 years, will wait for a further 18 months, with the government keen on ensuring that the facility meets all the required meat standards for the international market.
This facility has been in construction for the last 16 years. And the people of this region have been waiting for a long time. Sitting on land size of 500,000 acres, 50,000 of which is this particular abattoir, and the rest is for different uses, especially for feedstock and for receiving the animals. Last year, in 2022, we lost close to 30 billion shillings of animals that we lost to drought. And this is not animals from rich people. These are animals from poor people. So you can imagine the multiplier effect of that in terms of poverty. So when we see the poverty that we have in northern Kenya, it's not by accident, because you cannot lose 30 billion shillings worth of animals from poor people and you expect that there's not going to be poverty. Also, we've been exporting animals from this entire region in very limited ways because of the agreements we have had. We have a breakthrough with Oman and some countries. This is, on the surface, good news. But really, it is not really good news, because when we export live animals, we also export our skin, we export our hides, we export our money, and we export the jobs. So the government, through our ministry, has taken this initiative to establish a special economic zone in this area. So this is going to be the Isiolo, we are calling it Isiolo Meat City. And this facility will not only serve the people of Isiolo County, but the entire northern Kenya.
This project will transform not only Isiolo, the northern Kenya and the northern belt up to Ethiopia and Somalia, the lives of these people. With this project, what I can assure you is that Isiolo people, northern Kenya and northern belt will not lose the animals which they lost last year. In fact, Isiolo alone lost close to 6 billion worth of animals.
And elsewhere, residents from Ngong, Kiserian and Ongata-Rongai towns from Kajiado North Sub-County will benefit from the roads upgrade program following a consultative meeting by the road agency with other stakeholders. The Populous Metropolitan Region will receive a major facelift, with the area MP Onesmus Ngogoyo urging contractors to source materials from within for locals to benefit.
Mkutano ulikuwa hosted na KURA, Kenya Urban Roads Authority, kuzungumzia changamoto zile wanapitia wakifanya kazi. Kwa mfano size ya barabara kwingine tuko na watu kama wa Kenya Power, na kwingine pia wamekuwa na changamoto ya kupata materials nzuri za kuweza kutengeneza. Na kwa hivyo mkutano wa leo ilikuwa ya kusema barabara zile ni za KURA, tutazitengeneza aje, tuko na pesa kiasi gani, ili wananchi wanaweza kujua what to expect na pia ni nini itafanywa kwa ground. Tumekuwa pia na watu wa county, tumekuwa na all national government staff, ili chochote ile itafanyika, wananchi, serikali na the stakeholder mkuu ambaye ni KURA wanaweza kukua kwa page moja wakiweza kupanga kazi.
Kajiado around 2021. Initially, Kajiado was not considered to be urban, but because of the population growth, now it was changed to like an urban setup. So therefore, KURA now there was an affirmative action for KURA to come in, na tumechukua barabara kadhaa, Rongai, Kiserian na Ngong area. So as a result of that, each and every year we'll be doing some works on several roads, specifically in Ngong. Once KURA have entered into the road in terms of maintenance, each and every year, takama ni kufanya tu some small activity, takama ni kuclear hizo drains na kufanya grading na graveling, we make sure that at least the roads are passable. We'll be doing that every single year.
Kuna barabara kadhaa ambazo zimetajwa kama moja ambayo inaitwa Masai Road ambayo imekuwa na issue katika financial year hii ambayo inakuja, watafanya kilomita 1 na kitu juu, alafu pesa tu zitaendelea kukuja na kufanywa wakati ambapo inaingia. Lakini ya maana kabisa pia tumeweza kuelimishwa kwamba pesa hii inatoka kwa fuel levy ambayo ni ya maana pia kwa wananchi kujua, sababu mara mingi tunashindwa funding hizi zinatoka wapi.
We've come to the end of the program, but let me bring you up to speed with what you can expect in our subsequent bulletins at 7 p.m. and at 9 p.m. One of the trending hashtags on Twitter right now is #hacked. And of course, this is in line with the ICT Cabinet Secretary, Eliud Owalo, who revealed that indeed the eCitizen platform was hacked. And he did say in an earlier interview at a radio station here in the country, he said that the hackers started off by slowing the system down. So that is why there have been a lot of delays when people have been trying to access the services on that online platform. Now, eCitizen is an online platform where Kenyans can get to access government services from wherever they are. And so he has confirmed that indeed there was a cyber attack on the eCitizen platform, but he has confirmed that no data has been accessed. That is a story that will be coming to you in details. I know a lot of people making jokes about it all around the social media spaces. And as well, we'll be looking at the KCSE exam cheating and the ways of tackling it. That was before the National Assembly today, as well as EACC on corruption. That and so much more coming your way, a lot on our sports segment as well. I'm Nancy Nalima. Appreciate you for watching. Keep it right here on Lookuptv. Have yourself a pleasant afternoon.
We value your feedback.